Hello. Welcome back to another video from Shoot the Ball. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. And what a day! What a day! As an Arsenal fan, I'm very happy. Just crip walking everywhere. We're top of the league after game week 13. Obviously, it's still quite early, but hey, anytime we're top of the league, we gotta celebrate it. You know what they say, right? It's about the journey, not the destination. By the way, that's some stupid advice. Like I think obviously the journey is important. You need to enjoy it, but destination is what matters in the end. Um, but yeah, damn, great result for us yesterday. Obviously, a difficult game. Unfortunately, I predicted like a 3-0 smashing of Brentford, but we only ended up winning 1-0. But hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take a 1-0 victory if it means putting us top of the group. Sorry, top of the league. Obviously, that City and Liverpool result definitely went in our favor because a draw was the best result for us. I'll just do a quick. I'll just talk quickly about each of these games. So I think I'll start with the Arsenal game first. Um, Once again, we struggled to break down. I don't want to say low blocks. We struggled to break down any team this season, like in terms of creating proper clear cut chances. We obviously had that goal in the first half that was correctly ruled off for offside. But outside that, I think we had like one or two headers as well. But outside that, I don't remember us creating many clear cut opportunities. Martinelli and Saka were extremely underwhelming. Odegaard as well didn't do much, no creativity whatsoever. And the funny thing is, and I said this on Sat's channel yesterday, like we had our best attacking front, not front four, front five yesterday. Trossard, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus, all five of them playing. That's our best attacking five, right, in the team. And all of them started yesterday, and we still struggled to break Brentford properly and get like some 2 or 3 goals in. Luckily, in the end, Kai Havertz comes in clutch. Damn. So that was unexpected, but hey, look, if this is what he's there for, and big up to Matt. Matt did say that on Sat's channel, he did say that he could be a moments player, and I think that's fine. Hey, I think that's fine if he ends up being a player that gives us moments like this, where he comes off the bench and gets the winning assist against City or the winning goal against Brentford, and he does this in 4 or 5 other games. I'm not gonna complain that much. Hey, right now for me, the way I'm looking at it is we spent 65 million on Kai Havertz. 32.5 million has been justified against City, and another 32.5 million justified against Brentford. So that's just what I'm going to keep doing. And every time he scores or assists a winning goal, I'm going to keep dividing that amount by the number of games just to try and justify it. But it's obviously crazy. But hey, it is what it is. Look, I like the fact that we have good attacking options to come off the bench. I was happy with the lineup yesterday. I did like seeing Trossard play as an 8 because I thought that a team like Brentford that's probably going to play a low block and sit back all game and just rely on the counter attack and the abilities of Mbuemo and Wisa. And yesterday they started Godos as well up front. I thought like that kind of lineup was the perfect lineup to break them down, and unfortunately it wasn't good enough to do it. I wouldn't give up on it though. Like I would start the same exact lineup against Wolves next week, because I know they didn't have much luck against Brentford, but I think I think if we play the same lineup against Wolves at home, I think that lineup could see us bang in like 4 or 5 goals. Um, in Ketia, again, I'm not trying to do an agenda, I swear to God, but again, underwhelming coming off the bench, didn't do much. Had a good opportunity where he could have. Now, look, a lot of people will criticize him and say he should have passed to Saka, right? I don't mind him taking that shot. As a striker, I think sometimes you should be selfish and try to take that opportunity yourself. But if you are going to do that, then score it, right? But if you're not 100% sure, or not, you can never be 100% sure. But if you're not confident you're going to score that chance or make the keeper pull a crazy save, then you need to square that. You need to pass that ball to Saka. But if you think you're going to get it on target and make the keeper dive for it and pull off a mad save, or you might score it, fair enough, go for it. I have no issues with a striker trying to go for the shot in such a position. But I guess Nketiah is just not the kind of striker who should be going for these kind of shots. I don't know, man. Very underwhelming. Kai Havertz obviously came off the bench. Uh, had the biggest impact, obviously, because he scored the winning goal. Saka racking up GA again. This is probably the fourth or fifth game where he is quite underwhelming throughout the game. Doesn't do much, doesn't create much, doesn't take on his fullback enough. And yet he comes up with like the winning goal or the winning assist um, or the equalizing assist, whatever it is. So he's done it again yesterday. Very good cross. I think he's almost mastered this cut in on his left and cross it to the far post. He's done it against Chelsea as well for Trossard's goal. And you've seen him a couple of times give these good crosses that sometimes people don't finish in the end. But luckily for us, Kai Havertz is able to head the ball in. Hey, look, for us right now, if you compare game week 13 this season versus game week 13 last season, we're 1 point behind, right? If you look at game week 13 last season, which includes the City game, by the way, because City's game was game week 12, and obviously it got postponed. So when you go to like, I forgot what the website is called. I think it was called World Football or something. Um, Game week 12. Um, I have to remember what the website is called. It's called where is it? Yeah, worldfootball.net. So if you go to worldfootball.net, you're able to see like the Premier League table from the last couple of seasons at every single stage. And if you go to game week 13, it shows Arsenal at 31 points, behind City, who are at 32 points. Now, this is because it includes City's game, the Arsenal City game that we lost at the Emirates 3-1, which was played later in Feb, but it's part of game week 12, so it was included anyways. So if you do a comparison between last year and this year, we're 1 point behind from the same number of games. We are better by one goal in terms of goal difference. We've scored three less goals, but we've conceded four less. So obviously we're definitely better there as well. And this is despite us not playing our best football, right? I don't think any Arsenal fan watching us this season can say we've been spectacular. And that, for me, right, like while obviously that's a bit of a concern for a lot of Arsenal fans, but at the same time, I have to say that it's also something that you can feel good about or feel optimistic about. The fact that we haven't been playing our best football, the fact that we haven't been our incredible, scintillating self from last season. And despite that, we're not only racking up points, we're top of the league right now, and we know we can shift to another gear. We know we're still like probably in gear 2 or gear 3 max. Um, and that's obviously like testament to Arteta for raising the bar. I'm 100% sure that if we drew yesterday to Brentford, I think it's fair to say that probably 80 or 90% of our fans would have been extremely disappointed. Whereas like 3-4 seasons ago, like if we drew away to Brentford and we were like in the top four, like a lot of fans would be celebrating that. So I'm glad to see that our standards have gone high enough. But anyways, on to the next game, Lens in the middle of the week. We win that game. We not only qualify officially, but we officially top our group as well. So yeah, big game, and we obviously have to get the job done at the Emirates and get revenge for that defeat in France. Moving on to the okay, I'll just go to the Chelsea Newcastle game. The game before that, oh, what a beautiful game! What a beautiful game! Honestly, I swear to you, I'm not saying this. I know hindsight is 2020, but I think anyone who was expecting Chelsea to just run over Newcastle because they were riddled with injuries and stuff is just like lying to themselves. Because if that game yesterday was at Stamford Bridge, maybe Chelsea would have won. Maybe they would have like dominated the game. You never know. But because it's at St James Park, you can never rule out Newcastle. And by the way, despite all the injuries they have, look at the starting lineup they had. Like I know they had that Miley guy playing, but they still had Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton in the mid. They still had um, Isak playing up front along with Almiron and Gordon. And obviously, Shaw played centre back with, I think, Lascelles, who scored the second goal. And their fullbacks were Livramento, who has been incredible whenever he's played for them this season. And I think he's definitely going to be a starting fullback for them, even with Dan Burn returning from injury. Whenever he returns back from injury, I think Livramento will probably still start. And look, Trippier has been up and down. I mean, he's had like I think the second most assists in the league this season. Um, but yeah, incredible performance. Obviously, yes, Thiago Silva gifted Newcastle the third goal with that blunder of a mistake. I think, look, man, it's honestly getting. I do feel bad whenever I see him make these mistakes because the guy's 39 or 40 years old. For me personally, in my opinion, over the last 10 to 15 years, he's been the best centre back of the last decade. Incredible, legendary centre back, in my opinion. And the fact that he's still playing at this age is obviously like incredible, but we have to be realistic, man. Like I don't think we can have like, you cannot keep starting him. Chelsea cannot keep relying on him week in and week out. I think it's good to save him for certain games, maybe like a cup final or play him every couple of weeks, maybe at home against some of the some of the bottom teams. But to start him week in week out, especially away from home against a team like Newcastle, I don't know. I think that's crazy. And it was not just that goal he gave away. I think there was another mistake he made that was similar, and the ball went out for a corner. Um, so yeah, look, s- Chelsea didn't do much. Like Cole Palmer wasn't that great, which isn't like any dig at him or anything because he's been they're probably one of their best players this season. But yesterday was just not the game for him. I found it a bit odd that Gallagher was moving to the wing quite a lot. I'm pretty sure it's instructions from Pochettino, but I don't understand it. Um, I never understand when managers try to do these weird, abnormal things like move certain like midfielders to the wing or move certain wingers to the middle. Or I've never understood that. I like when teams play with just traditional a left-footed winger on the right and a right-footed winger on the left. I think that's just the best way to play football right now. Because especially when you have like a speedy winger that can cut in on the stronger foot, can also go on the weaker foot and run inside. And I don't subscribe to this playing a midfielder on the wing. I find it ridiculous. But anyways, look, Chelsea are. I don't want to say they're in trouble, but given I think Pochettino is in trouble. I think that's a fair thing to say, because knowing the Chelsea fan base, they're not going to be the patient fan base, right? Who are willing to sit and wait for like 2, 3, or 4 seasons to see how this project goes. Because right now they're at the beginning. Yes, they've spent like over $1 billion over the last 1 year, which is mental. And any team that spends that kind of money should be expected to challenge for the title immediately. But if we are being realistic, that's not how it works. Like none of the players they got are players that are ready to win something right now. They're all young. Most of them are young players who you have to give like 2, 3 years time for. Um, and I don't see Chelsea having the patience to give Pochettino and these players that much time. I don't think Pochettino is even the right manager in my opinion. I don't rate him as a manager. I think he's had a very substandard time at PSG, and yes, he did well with Tottenham and Southampton, but again, no disrespect to Tottenham. Actually, disrespect. I don't give a shit, but about Tottenham. But they're not that big of a club, right? Like if we're being 100% honest, they expect. Okay, you know what? They're a big club, obviously, in terms of the name and the brand worldwide and stuff. But if you compare them to Chelsea, the level of standards at Chelsea are much higher, and because of that, the level of expectations from the fans and the board is going to be much higher as well. Um, so I don't think that club is the kind of club that would be willing to give a manager like Pochettino like 3, 4 years for him to develop players and eventually get the team to compete. I think this season, if the results don't improve and Chelsea keep hanging around in like 10th, 11th, ninth in these positions throughout the season, I think before the season ends or by the end of the season, they'll probably sack Pochettino. I don't think he'll make it to next season. But if he gets them to Europa League or something, then of course, like they probably might give him time. Um, but yeah, look, big up to Newcastle. Honestly, like they've been doubted so many times. I've been in spaces this year where people are saying, "Oh, they're overhyped," and last season was just lucky because Liverpool and Chelsea were not great. But it's all bullshit. Eddie Howe has done an incredible job. People were so reactionary when they lost those 3 games in a row. Like, I mean, those 3 games were not against shitty teams. They were against Liverpool, City, and I think Brighton, right? Obviously, Brighton is not that big of a team. I mean, but they are a difficult team to play against, and it was at Brighton's ground as well. Um, and they've done really well since that. They've bounced back well, despite having all these injuries. They've been able to get a lot of good results. And for me, they're a big shot for top four. I don't know if they will finish top four. I think fourth place will be very close between them, Tottenham. I don't see Villa lasting all season. I don't see Brighton competing for it either, but it'll probably be between them, Tottenham, and if United or Chelsea somehow get their shit together and are able to like fix the get fix a proper starting 11, or select a proper starting 11 and just go with it, and use the players accordingly, I think they'll eventually be able to make a challenge for top four. But look, if that's there's a lot of ifs over there. If this player comes back fit and performs, if the lineup is selected correctly, if the manager gets his formation and his organization of his defense proper, like there's a lot of things that have to be improved at Chelsea and United. So I'm not sure if one of them will make top four, but Newcastle definitely have a very, very good chance. Um, but yeah, let's see how it goes for them as well. But big win, 4 win, another smashing for Chelsea. And the last game that I want to discuss quickly is obviously the biggest game of the weekend, and one of the biggest games of the season, obviously so far. Um, Liverpool traveled to Manchester to play City at the Etihad, and look, it was a good game. It was not the same type of game from 2 seasons ago where it was 2-2 and there was plenty of chances and both teams were creating proper chances and stuff. I think when you play like when Liverpool, City, and Arsenal face each other this season, I feel like a lot of our games are going to be about restricting the other team, and just shutting down any spaces that the opponents could take advantage of. We saw that in that Arsenal City game, obviously at the Emirates, where it was an extremely tactical game. Both teams were just focusing on restricting the other team from creating proper chances, and it had to come to a deflected goal in the end for Arsenal. Um, and it was, I think, a bit similar yesterday. The first goal, I don't care what people want to say, like 'cause there's this crazy thing that a lot of fans are trying to do, and I'm gonna back Liverpool fans on this now. Like a lot of rival fans keep trying to like get at Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I've seen a lot of people blame him for that first goal and say, "Oh, what was he doing when Nathan Ake ran past him? He put a weak leg in to try and win the ball." Come on, like anyone who watches that, if you're not putting 99% of the blame on Allison, you're just trying to push your agenda. 100%. That was 100 for me. Not even nine. That was 100% on Allison. For a goalkeeper of his standard, and I rate him extremely highly. I think he's first or second in terms of the best goalkeepers in the world. Um, and for him to make a big mistake like that, like you cannot blame anyone else but him for that first goal. And obviously, like when that opportunity falls to someone like Haaland, um, Haaland is naturally gonna take it because he's one of the most lethal strikers in the world right now. Um, but yeah, look, obviously he did get Trent Alexander-Arnold did get like taken on by Doku a couple of times. Obviously, Doku is one of the best dribblers in the league. Stats prove it as well. He, I think, averages more dribbles per game than anyone else in the Premier League. He's lightning quick. His change of direction is incredible, which obviously always makes defenders guess, right? And the great thing about him playing as a winger, and this is what I want our wingers to do quite often as well, Saka and Martinelli, is with Doku, you can't even predict what he's going to do because he does both. He goes inside and he cuts on his stronger foot. So you cannot try and because with certain players like Robin, who would always just cut in on their left foot, right? You know exactly what they're going to do. You just have to make sure you're timing the tackle, or you're timing your movement. Obviously, even though people knew what Robin is going to do, just because he was super quick at doing it, like people could not stop him anyways. And you cannot just show him. You cannot just cover his left side and show him on his right, because he, like, if you do give him that open space, he might run in, right? With Doku, he literally does both. He runs on his left side, he runs on his right side. He can cut in at either direction incredibly well. Um, he created a good chance for Alvarez that I think Alvarez should have scored, or at least should have done a bit better with. But despite that, I think Trent held his own yesterday. I think he still did well to stop him a couple of times. I think he did well to stop Haaland in the first half. On the ball, he was decent as well. Obviously, he came up clutch with the goal. It was a very, very well taken shot. A lot of these low shots that are at the far post are always like very, very difficult to stop. And he took it really well. Obviously, another assist for Salah, who I think had a very bad game in my opinion, very poor game by his standards. But again, that's what a lot of top quality players do, and this is what I praise Saka for as well. Like when a player of high quality has a shit game, but still ends up coming up with an assist or a goal, like in a difficult match, that's obviously a testament to their quality and their efficiency. But yeah, look, big game for Arnold. Big result for Liverpool. I think City fans will probably be disappointed, or at least I think they should be disappointed with this result because when they go to Anfield later, look, the league could come down to 1 or 2 points, right? Um, it has come to 1 or 2 points in the past between Liverpool and City. Obviously, last season City won it by 5 points, but I think a big thing to do with that is the fact that City beat us at the Emirates. Had we won against City last season at the Emirates, City would not have won the league by 5 points. I could argue that probably we would have won the league because if we beat City at the Emirates at that time in Feb, we would have gone 6 points ahead of them with a game in hand against Everton, which we eventually won 4-0, and that would have put us 9 points ahead of Man City. I think the league would have been done then. So these these games head to head between Liverpool, City, and Arsenal, in my opinion, are extremely important. The fact that City drop points at home against Liverpool is huge for me because when they go to Anfield later, for me personally, I don't see. I don't think City would win at Anfield. Can they? Of course they can. If there's any team in this league that can go to Liverpool and win and come back with all 3 points, 100% it's City. Um, because they are the best team in the country. They are the best team in the world, in fact. But it will be quite difficult because I don't think they have won there. I can't remember the last time they've gone there and won. Last season, Liverpool were not at their best, and they still managed to get a 1-0 win. So, and if Liverpool are challenging for the title, then when City go to Anfield, like Liverpool is not gonna um, they're gonna play like one of their best games. So I think yesterday's result was definitely bad for City. They should have got all the 3 points. I do hear some of the complaints of City fans about the fact that they don't have a good bench. They had a lot of injuries yesterday, and their bench looked incredibly weak yesterday. I get it, but City were 1-0 up by the 70th minute or so. Like if I was Pep, I would obviously, like, he's the greatest manager in the world right now, and I've already said before that I think he's the greatest of all time. So he will know how to use the subs better than anyone else. But I just found it a bit weird or a bit puzzling that he didn't bring on Guardiola or Stones a bit earlier. Um, I don't think he used any sub yesterday. In fact, I could be wrong, but I don't remember him using any sub yesterday. Let me just check and confirm. Because I definitely don't remember anyone else coming from. Yeah, he didn't bring in a single sub. So when he was 1-0 up with like in the 70th minute or so, I think that was the perfect time to bring on Guardiola and Stones. Because Trent only scored in like the 80th minute. So like he would have brought him on like 10 minutes before Trent would have got the opportunity. I think Guardiola and Stones, or at least one of them, probably Stones, I would say. I think he would have helped them shut shop well, and get those 3 points, and it obviously didn't happen. Um, I still don't think City fans have anything to panic about. And obviously, from what I've heard, and I've been in spaces with a lot of City fans, and they don't sound like they're panicking or they're worried. I think they know how their team performs in the second half of the season. So for me personally, I think like even though they drew this game and it's a disappointing result, and it could come back to bite them in the ass later when they travel away to Liverpool. Um, but they're still the favorites to win the league for me, because we know that they can string like 10 to 15 wins in a row. But hey, look, big result for Liverpool. A lot of people were saying that they should go there and play how they played last season when they won, defend deep and just play on the counter. I actually I respect managers like Klopp and Pep, because whether they play home or away, they don't care. They want to play their style. Like Liverpool just went there. They wanted to press. They didn't play a low block. They were trying to press them in the middle in defense. They were trying to make sure they don't give them any chance. They were very brave when they were trying to carry the ball forward and attack. Obviously, yes, City had majority of the possession, but then that's just how City play, especially at the Etihad. They're almost always going to dominate possession, so it's not surprising. But big respect to Liverpool for going there and playing their style and getting a result, playing their football. It's not easy to do that. Um, but yeah, great. One thing that this season is highlighting for me so far is while some of our attacks, I mean, Liverpool's attack is incredible, like with the options they have, but I think the defense of these three teams is going to decide the title, right? Because you notice the games we played between Arsenal, City, and now City, Liverpool, and I think we'll see it as well when Arsenal go to Liverpool at Anfield. I think the defending decides a lot of these games now, right? Even the Community Shield was pretty similar. Like it's just about teams locking each other out. Um, all the three teams have very good defenders individually. Van Dijk is back to his best from what I can see. Yesterday they played with Matip, who a lot of Liverpool fans will say is not even their second best defender. It's Konate, and he was on the bench. Arnold has, in my opinion, people again, a lot of people could get triggered by this. I think he's improved tremendously as a defender. I think defensively over the last 1 year, he's done a lot better in one-on-one situations and defending and positional awareness and stuff. Um, Obviously, they've been playing with Tsimikas. Tsimikas had an amazing game yesterday, one of the best games I've seen him play for Liverpool. So imagine like Liverpool, despite not having Robertson and despite not having Konate, who you would argue are two of their starting defenders, along with Van Dijk and Arnold, they still put up a very good defensive game. Um, and they have the second best defense in the league this season with 11 goals conceded. So Arsenal obviously 10 goals conceded, the best defense, and we know how City's back four is. So yeah, let's see if all our defenders can stay fit for majority of the season. Um, I think we'll do really well defensively like throughout the season, and it just depends on who can be more clinical when they get the opportunities when we face each other. Yeah, guys, this was it. Obviously, big day yesterday. I'm looking forward to the games today. Tottenham play at home against Villa. I think Villa definitely will win that game, especially with all the injuries that Tottenham have. I hope Villa win that game. But even outside hope, I don't know. I'll be shocked if Tottenham win it. I think it'll probably end in a draw or a Villa win. Um, but it should be an exciting game. And then obviously we've got United going later to Everton, who obviously recently had the 10 points deduction. So a lot of people are predicting Everton to be riled up for this game. And obviously United's form has not been the greatest this season. So um, it could end up being an incredible weekend for Arsenal. Just imagine if Tottenham lose and United lose. All our rivals in the top six, the traditional top six teams, would have dropped points except for Arsenal. It would be a big week for us. And may long may it continue. Cool, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll do my best to bring up a lot more videos, and obviously I'm gonna have some people over. You guys saw Souls already once, and I'll try to have more people come on the channel, and so we could do match reviews and stuff. But please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video so the channel could grow. Thank you, guys.